Hi guys, it's Baby Peach, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi. We're gonna just hop right in there, but yeah, I think this is chapter 4 internally for our overall chapter 2. So let's just see what this one has in store for us. I might have explained this before, but phys ed at our school is really just an exercise in disorder. After some random warm-ups, and the rest of the time is spent doing whatever. You're free to cause a ruckus or just fall asleep. I'm not really sure, but doesn't the Board of Education have some sort of curriculum for this? Something like, when you're this old, you should have this amount of physical ability? I have no idea what you're saying, Keiichi-san. It's rather difficult to understand. Well, you see, it's something like a rule for teachers to follow during class. Maybe you weakling city folk need something like that, but you really think us country-raised kids would lag behind in physical ability? We're better athletes than you would think, Keiichi. Come to think of it, they might be right. If we all lined up for a race, there was a good chance I'd finish dead last if I didn't start off well. Let's just pray when a brutal penalty game is at stake, the 100-meter dash isn't a club activity. On that note, I watched too much television, so I'm fantastically tired. I'll be using this time to catch up on my sleep. It's fourth period and I'm completely starved. If I don't sleep now, when will I ever? As I began to sprawl out on top of a pipe, Mion grabbed me by the collar. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Do you really think I'd let you sleep in peace and quiet? With the look on your face, it'd require more courage to try and take a nap than not. Good grief. Which means, is it going to start again? Now! Just killing time with idle chit-chat until the bell rings is impossible for us hot-headed youth, isn't it? Shall we start a club activity? Just as I thought, it's come to this. What's today's game? Now this is happening. Taking a nap is impossible. Not just that, with this sleep-deprived head of mine, I'm as good as mincemeat. I have to get my brain into gear. Raina thinks that we should decide what today's penalty game should be before we start. Raina knows what's up. I prepared something super special today. She began to announce the cruel penalty game with a grand spinning flourish, but before she could do that... I'm sorry. I have something I wanted to do. Of all people, it was Rika-chan announcing her non-participation. Even rare events do eventually occur. Losing her timing, Mion spun like a top as she tumbled to the ground. What? Huh? What's the matter? Are you not feeling well? Oh, that's right. Mi-chan, she has to practice for the Watanagashi. That's right. It's this Sunday. Rika's in the middle of super serious training right now. I've been working too hard lately, so my arms hurt. I see. Well, there's nothing that can be done. There's no point in doing anything if we can't get everybody together. Today, let's just take it easy. I'm very sorry, but I'll try my best. Yeah, good luck. We'll be cheering you on. When Mion announced that today's club activity was cancelled, Rika-chan and Satoko headed off behind the school building. Only I was left alone, completely clueless as to what everybody was talking about. What was that about? Is Rika-chan training for a competition or something? Rika-chan is the shrine maiden for the Watanagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance. It's practice for that. Why don't you explain things in order? First of all, what is this Watanagashi? Next, what do you mean by shrine maiden? Lastly, what do you mean by ritual dance? Huh? Didn't you get the notice at your house, Kei-chan? Wasn't it written there? The Watanagashi festival is this Sunday. Huh? Come to think of it, I have a feeling Mom did say something about it during dinner the other day. The Watanagashi is a festival that happens at the shrine on a Sunday every June. It's very lively. I see, but Watanagashi sounds like a pretty strange name for it. Is it something like the Lantern Festival, where they have a memorial for the dead by floating things down the river? Oh, I figured you might guess right, Kei-chan. The Watanagashi, or Cotton Drift Festival, is, as the name implies, where we set cotton adrift down the river. The cotton you see is from futons or jackets, so it'd be something like a futon memorial. They also pile up on the altar. I've heard of people leaving offerings of things like needles or kitchen knives to their ancestors or to casualties of war, but an offering of futons is a first for me. What's the history behind that? Mion tilted her head pensively. I don't think there's a complicated backstory to it. The writers around here are pretty harsh, so things like warm futons and coats to ward off the cold are fairly important, I guess. I see. In other words, it's something like giving things to the futons that care for you during the winter then? Then the Shrine Maiden holds a memorial service for them and set them adrift. That's what the Watanagashi is? Mion and Reina indicated that I had the correct answer with a round of applause. And you see, the Shrine Maiden performing the memorial is Rika-chan. Oh, so Rika-chan is a Shrine Maiden? Now that you mention it, Rika-chan does have that mystical air about her. Right? Rika-chan is a Shrine Maiden outfit. How? So cute. It certainly does seem like it would suit her. Yeah, it might be cute. I finally get what you're saying. Rika-chan's training is for her performance as a Shrine Maiden then. That would be it. The Shrine Maiden has to purify a member of futons as part of the ceremony. It's a practice for that. It's a lot of hard work. The Shrine Maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as part of the rite, and it's really heavy for Rika-chan. Well, Rika-chan is pretty small. Exactly how heavy is that hoe? It's pretty heavy, enough that Rika-chan has been practicing with the mochi mallet. Wait a minute. That's way too heavy. Forget about Rika-chan, that'd be rough even for me. It's a sacred ceremonial hoe. If she dropped it by accident, it'd be big trouble. Well, it's a once of a year kind of deal. All we can do is cheer from the sidelines. It'll be okay. She pulled it off last year. Really? Then the least I can do is cheer her on. Even something that little would help, right? I was rather curious about exactly how she practiced. Mion laughed as she shook her head. Leave her alone. If you go, Rika-chan will get all cute and won't be able to practice. Huh? I didn't quite understand what Mion was saying. You see, Rika-chan doesn't like showing people how hard she works, okay? So just leave her be. Even the always cool and aloof Rika-chan has times when she sweats while giving it her all. Because she was always so well put together, she didn't want people to see an ungainly side to her. It's not like I couldn't understand that feeling. All I can do is pray for her success, huh? Do your best. Rika Furude. I'm cheering for you. Well then. I climbed up onto the pipe and just plopped down onto my side. Hooray, hooray, Rika-chan. In order to transmit more of my psychic wave of encouragement, I'll be entering a meditative state now. So, you're just going to sleep after all? The lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to a mind-numbing afternoon classes. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition. I might have gorged myself a bit too much. I'll have to endure afternoon classes. Keiichi-kun, you had an amazing appetite today. Basically, you always eat like a pig, but today was a whole different level. Yesterday I skipped lunch, right? That hunger just soaked right in. This time, no matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds. I get you. But really, Kei-chan, you always finish your lunch down to the last bite. Heck, even now to the last grain of rice. With food, you show your appreciation for the person who made it by eating it, you know? If you leave any behind, it's rude to the person who put in all that effort. Hearing that, Mion's eyes momentarily widen in surprise, followed by a cool laugh. Kei-chan, really? At first glance, you seem unruly and irresponsible, and you're actually pretty conscientious. Well, disciplined or something like that. Yeah, Reina thinks so too. Keiichi-kun is a lot kinder than he looks. Both of them were probably trying to compliment me, but I had a strange feeling that I wasn't being complimented at all. That's not true. I just wanted to say that there's a big gap between your appearance and your personality, and I'm saying that's not a compliment. Hey, Sonozaki-san, my Barakun, we're in the middle class. How far did you get, Sonozaki-san? Bring your notes up here. Startled, Mion vocalized a rather easy-to-understand utterance. She was so enthralled in the conversation she had stopped working completely. Doing alright. You haven't progressed at all. You're in the highest grade, so you have to shape up. That Mion, it looks like she's getting lectured. Poor bastard. Appearances can be deceiving, in other words. Actually, appearances might be the opposite of reality. You say some interesting things. Responding to Reina's seemingly profound statement, I turned my gaze to where Satoko was happily studying together with Rika-chan. Are you saying that Brat Satoko is actually really meek? If I went by what Reina literally said, then that would be the case. I could hardly imagine Satoko being meek and gentle like a girl in some fairy tale. Satoko-chan's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different. She acted really spoiled in all ways. Yep. Keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay? That Satoko acting so cute? For Satoko to play coy, I think that would have to be some part of a calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I wouldn't think it was because she was attached to them. But since I came up, I try to imagine a gentle and cottage Satoko. Hey Satoko. What is it, Oni-sama? Satoko smiled cutely and walked towards me. By the way, for every 3 steps forward Satoko took, for some reason, I took 3 steps away. Oni-sama, why are you running away? Sorry, Satoko. For you to approach me with an affectionate smile on your face, I just have to think it's some sort of trap. That's so mean! Oni-sama, you meanie! Wow! Sorry. I didn't intend to be so mean. The weeping Satoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Click, clink. Huh? A bear trap? My leg was being clamped down by a jagged metal teeth. You fell for it. Now for the next part. Sadako raised her right arm triumphantly, and traps began to trigger one after another. Suddenly the wall sprang forward, throwing me 3 blocks away. And there I saw a giant metal ball covered in spikes hurtling towards me. On top of that, in the direction the ball would knock me, was a giant guillotine. I'm not really sure, but Keiichi-kun, you're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you? Not really. Not at all. That's a lie. You've got that kind of look on your face that says I'm gonna be crushed by a giant spiked metal ball. How could my expression convey what I was thinking like that? Sorry, imagining a meek and gentle Sadako is impossible right now. I'll try again when I'm in better shape. Next, I looked over at Rika-chan, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. In contrast to Sadako, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came at me saying, "Oni-sama," I'd hug her. I'd hug her tightly. I could get used to that. Keiichi-kun, you're drooling. Sorry. Then how about Rika-chan? Are you saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a twinge of guilt. Was Rika-chan really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she was really quite sly, sweetly, how do you put it, evading things deftly? I get the feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet, her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining into words, but Reina managed to say what I wanted to. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that. When Rika-chan goes up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty with men wrapped all around her little finger. Don't you think that would be cool? Reina said that lightheartedly, but I as a man couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about that was that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika-chan turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. Both Reina and I, feeling as if that was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat. So cute, so cute. Reina, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving, huh? Well then, what about our dear leader Mion? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Reina's theory, that unrefined, calculating, conniving Mion also had a side to her that bellied appearances. Then what you're saying is that Mion, despite her appearance, is actually a good person? Mi-chan is a good person. Oh well, that is true, but what I'm trying to say is... Yep, I know what you're trying to say, Keiichi-kun. Catching up on that, I was struggling to express my feelings as words. Reina smiled even more brightly. Know what? Mi-chan is mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's right. Mion was more than aware that she was a girl, but is exactly as Reina said. When Mion livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or a girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender. If she were a guy, we'd probably be like 2 peas in a pod, although that's the same way it is right now. But you see, even that Mi-chan is actually really feminine. Reina, how much did Mion pay you exactly? That's not true. Jeez, I'm just trying to have a serious conversation, you know. Reina began to pout now. Probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Mi-chan is the club president, so she's trying really hard to lead everybody, but she's really a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun. Reina's gaze focused off into the distance beyond where Mion was. The Mion that I met at Angel Mort was unimaginably different compared to the Mion that I normally knew. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job, It was a far cry from the brash and confident Mion. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went through the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation. And she did so not as Mion, but as Shion. What exactly was Shion to Mion? What kind of person was Mion exactly? Keiichi-kun probably couldn't even begin to imagine. As if to say it was our little secret, Reina held her finger out to her lips as she giggled. Mion, finally free from the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment. This old man, you see, thinks that grade school is enough for everything you need to study for in life. Saying that, she plopped down into her seat violently. Mion was actually really feminine, right? I wonder if I could meet Shion again. I wanted to talk to her again. And with that, guys, we're gonna end today's episode here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.